Welcome to this week's review rundown. Let's dive right in. Alright, we've made it to Houseful 5. Somehow, against all odds, it exists. And if you thought maybe, just maybe they'd take a fresh take this time, no, they don't. They've simply packed in more of everything, including your patience. Here's the deal. We're on a cruise ship. A rich man dies, leaves his fortune to his son, Jolly. But plot twist, 3 different men show up claiming to be Jolly. Akshay Kumar, Ritesh Deshmukh and Abhishek Bachchan. Each one with a lady in tow, but good luck remembering who's who because their job is to be pretty, shriek a bit and then vanish. There's also a secret 4th son, Fardeen Khan, back from retirement. Sanjay Dutt and Jackie Shroff are thrown in as Bhidu and Baba, or Baba and Bhidu, does not matter. They most likely smirk and growl throughout the film. Johnny Liver still doing Johnny Liver things, and Akhri Pasta still confused about his own identity. And yes, there's a killer loose on the ship in case it wasn't chaotic enough. At one point, Akshay walks around with a giant fake tail. There's a parrot that talks more than half the cast, a doctor who's allergic to peanuts, someone gets drugged with blue memory wipe pills, one of the wives turns out to be not a wife. You get the picture. The comedy still stuck in 2010. Crude jokes, people falling over each other, and the classic Houseful finale. The entire cast yelling in a single room while a killer lurks nearby. It's less of climax, more group therapy with louder outfits. Honestly, it's all a blur. The movie is loud, overstuffed, and proudly ridiculous. Which, credit where it's due, is exactly what it set out to be. But if you were hoping for something new, you might want to look elsewhere. Now let's move on to Stolen. It's sharp on paper, urgent in tone, and wants to leave you rattled. But for a thriller about a missing baby and spiraling class tensions, it's strangely uneven. So here's the setup. Abhishek Banerjee plays Gautam, a man with money, a swanky SUV and zero patience, waiting for his younger brother at a remote train station. Now, just as the train rolls in, a tribal woman wakes up to find her baby missing. Panic, police and chaos follow. The cops, useless and shady. The brothers are stuck. One wants to help, the other wants to bail. And suddenly, they're knee-deep in a situation that's way bigger than them, involving rumors of baby-stealing gangs, angry mobs, and an entire system skewed against the voiceless. Sounds tense, right? It is sometimes. Stolen wants to be high stakes, but that urgency only lands in flashes. For large stretches, it leans more into setup than impact. Performance-wise, Banerjee feels a bit out of rhythm, like he's still finding his footing in this new brooding avatar. There are car chases across sand dunes, armed villagers on bikes, a lot of dust, a lot of shouting, but also a strange lack of depth to the characters. They're moving through the chaos, but you're never quite pulled in emotionally. It's only in the final stretch where class privilege disappears and survival kicks in that the film starts to breathe properly. It finally taps into what it's been hiding all along. Bottom line, Stolen has moments that jolt and ideas that matter, but it never quite catches fire. The tension stays skin deep, and for a thriller, that's a missed shot. And finally, we have Thug Life. Kamal Hassan and Mani Ratnam reunite for what should have been a cinematic powerhouse. Instead, it's 2 legends walking into a gangster epic and forgetting to bring the script. Let's break it down. The story opens with a moody prologue, death, destiny, a baby born under a bad sign. Kamal Hassan plays Saktivel, a gangster in 1994 Old Delhi going head-to-head with his mentor-turned-rival. There's betrayal, a bloody shootout, and in the middle of it all, a boy Amaran gets orphaned. It's a classic power play. Father, son, betrayal, legacy, Game of Thrones Tamil edition. At least that's the pitch. But here's the problem. Thug Life sounds like it should work. On paper, it's heavy with themes. Caste, power, loyalty, ego. But in practice, it's bloated, underwritten and painfully stretched. Every scene tells you what to feel, but the film never really earns it. Now let's talk performances. Kamal gives it his usual full throttle energy, but it feels kind of mismatched, like he's acting in a different film from everybody else. Trisha is barely given anything to work with, and the women in this film are either ornamental, objectified, or both. The writing leans hard on dialogue to do the emotional lifting. You turn the beast in me into a human, one character says. But where's the beast? Where's the transformation? We're just supposed to fill in the blanks and move on throughout the film. Visually though, Thug Life looks stunning. Ravi K. Chandran's cinematography is the only department that actually shows up and stays awake. Every frame is rich, atmospheric and cinematic. But great visuals cannot cover up narrative inertia. A.R. Rahman's background score though is surprisingly off-key. Instead of elevating the tension, it often distracts from it like you're watching a gangster spoof instead of a layered drama. Honestly, Thug Life feels like a film that wants to be an epic but never finds its soul. It's too obsessed with sounding deep and with being something grand and forgets to tell a story that grips, connects or even makes basic narrative sense. So what are we left with? A film that looks the part but doesn't feel the part. A powerhouse team on paper delivering one long, talky, tone-deaf monologue of a film. If you're a die-hard Kamal or Mani Ratnam fan, you might still show up out of loyalty. And that's your review rundown for the week. I'm Nia. More takes, more truth next week.
I don't know whether to call it a magazine or a newspaper.
What can I say? As you can see, the iconic screen magazine. It is. I'm on the cover. It's really nice to be on the cover.
Karan, this is your surprise for the evening.
I remember there were so many times that, he would just turn back and he'd look at me and I was like, Agnipat!
माँ के पैरों के नीचे स्वर्ग है, अरे बाप के पैरों के नीचे जायदाद है।
गीत और आदित्य का अभी ब्रेकअप हो रहा है, फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गए हैं वो दोनों एक दूसरे से, है ना? आदित्य बोल रहा है ये अपनी आपकी खुद की फेवरेट है, कौन झेल सकता है इसे?
If you could legalize one thing in India, what would it be? Prostitution, gambling, or marijuana?
I can't hear you.
We have seen you as more of a glamour role in South Indian movies. And you went to Bombay. I don't know what transformed you. You're today totally different role.
Feel nepotism or no nepotism, I'm here. किसी के बाप की इंडस्ट्री नहीं है.
कहीं ना कहीं मेरी भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज कई बार ऐसे गई हैं जहाँ पे मुझे ऐसा लगा कि maybe I should have gotten the opportunity rather than someone who's from the family.
I love reading your reviews. When you really love something, you genuinely have, and that means a lot.
But that's the whole thing, you guys don't give up in life.
I wish you all the very best. May Screen digitally prosper.